Hassan in Slough, hello.
Oh, hello, hi. Sorry for the noise. I couldn't find a quiet place in Westfield.
Right,
but I was very pleased when Rishi Sunak did fire Suella Braverman. I was really, really elated. And I was very pleased that he brought back David Cameron, because he's certainly someone I can actually have time for. So we needed a moderated influence. So I think Cameron would actually provide that. We were going too far to the right.
But Hassan, listen, the central problem for Sunak is that he has appeared weak, in my view. So he finally gets around to sacking Suella Braverman, frankly, too late in the day. He did it after we saw some absolutely horrific scenes in London streets, which I think you can agree with last Saturday, which was the far-right rioting. And in my personal view, she emboldened them with her rhetoric. We've now got David Cameron coming back, and he's not an uncontroversial character, is he?
Yeah, he's not uncontroversial. I agree with that. But I'd say because of his experience, his statesmanship, he is respected around the world. And his experience will come to bear here. So I think it was a positive. When you weigh out the pluses and the minuses, I think the pluses do outweigh.
But the man has become Foreign Secretary. This is a man who was hugely criticised, I think is fair to say, by a committee of MPs with regard to his handling of Libya. And they placed a dreadful decision to intervene fairly and squarely at David Cameron's door. This is not a good track record for somebody who's now our Foreign Secretary.
I hope that, he did make a mistake there, and quite a few prime ministers had made mistakes.
No, it was much worse than it. Hang on a minute, because I actually went back and read the report. So, Foreign Affairs Committee. This was a report examining the intervention subsequent collapse of Libya, dating to 2011. This is a quote from them. Then, Prime Minister David Cameron was ultimately responsible for the failure to develop a coherent Libya strategy based on erroneous assumptions. It was disastrous, that war, for that country. And a committee of MPs looked at a range of evidence and came to the conclusion that David Cameron failed the people of this country and the people of Libya. Why is he now Foreign Secretary?
It's a very, very good question. I think when we take into account the totality of his policies, that was a mistake, obviously, but I think going into Iraq was also a mistake, and there have been with the rise of ISIS.
But we're talking now, hang on a minute, but we're now talking about David Cameron, his track record, because he is now Foreign Secretary of this country. There are very serious questions being raised about David Cameron's policy towards China. China, a country that we were reading in the newspapers just weeks ago, is spying on the Prime Minister of this country. There are allegations and question marks over whether or not David Cameron opened the door to China in a way that was both naive and ultimately dangerous for the country. I ask you again, Hassan, if you think it's such a good idea that David Cameron is now our Foreign Secretary, why, given this is his track record?
I would hope that he's actually learned from his mistakes. So there'll be other positive things that he has done. But yeah, I agree. I hear what you say. Maybe those were disastrous mistakes, but I hope that they're not going to be repeated.
I appreciate that you hope that, but ultimately the change has been made by Sunak because he believes he can stop the Conservative Party facing electoral annihilation with the appointment of David Cameron. I would argue he's wrong.
I think it was a good political manoeuvre. It was a good calculation. You may think he's wrong. I do hope I'll do what I can to make sure he does election, the little that I can, even if it means playing the violins on the Titanic. And Suella Braverman.
You'll be the one rearranging the deck chairs, Hassan. I love the fact you're volunteering to do that.
I know, but if we lose and Suella Braverman becomes our leader, probably leave the Tory party, which would be a shame because I was hoping to stand for Parliament in 2028.
Listen, Hassan, it was a valiant defence, and we will talk again. Hassan in Slough, thank you very much.